Hello students, welcome to first lecture on module 5 on BA models or Barabasi-Albert models. This would be one of the most important lectures as we go towards the class projects, and here we will focus more on the evolution part, that is how networks evolve. So far we have at least looked statistically that what is the difference between a random graph versus a scale free graph. While we saw that in case of random graphs, probability of finding hubs or nodes with exceptionally large degree was almost zero. However, in case of scale free networks, which were specifically in scale free regime or exhibiting ultra small world properties, we saw that there is always a non-zero probability of finding hubs. So probability of finding hubs is totally fine. But other than statistics, when we see at real world systems, there are two fundamental questions that need to be answered. And the first fundamental question that we will answer in this particular chapter is that why so different systems such as internet, where we have web pages which are interacting with each other through URLs, versus where we have some stations or train stations which are interacting if there is a direct train between a pair of stations A and B, versus protein networks where two proteins are considered to be connected if there is a reaction or a interaction is going between two protein of which represent the different nodes. So basically the question is, despite the heterogeneity that exists in their functioning as well as the kind of nodes and edges we have, they still exhibit some universal properties which we say that all of them typically follow a scale free distribution or power law distribution, I should say power law distribution. Second is we looked statistically that probability of finding hubs in ER is zero, as I just said. But another question arises that in real worlds, what happens to ERs that they fail to exhibit hubs? And we will answer these questions more from the intuitive perspective, that what happens as these networks evolve. Now, another thing that if you look at is that we will be using the word time a lot. So time, since this network is working, for example, in case of World Wide Web, this network is almost 38 years old. On the other hand, if you talk about protein-protein interaction network, its age would be in billion. So basically 4 billion years old, since it goes back to when this life came into existence. Even then, despite this such a difference between the time scales on which this network evolve, we would be able to discover that how these networks evolve with respect to time and exhibit certain properties or behaviors in their topological attributes as a function of time. So let us begin answering these questions, and we will answer the first question, that why ER do not exhibit hub. Again, we are not going to statistics, so let us try to develop some intuition that why it doesn't have hubs. Because when we were learning ER networks, we always said that for ER networks, number of nodes or n, they were fixed. We also fixed the probability of interaction, which implies that if P is fixed, N is fixed, number of links, we can always estimate number of links to be N into N minus 1 divided by 2 into P. That means we have a very less degree of freedom. We would not let ER evolve or change their components, number of components, number of nodes would be same, number of links would be same, and so on. On the other hand, if you look at real world system like World Wide Web, the day this World Wide Web started, it must be having a single node back in 1991, and now by 2020, almost 3 decades later, it is having approximately 10 to the power 12 nodes, which would go in trillions basically. So the question arises that if we do not let these ERs to evolve with respect to time, the static models may not be enough to answer the question where real world systems are time evolving, ER networks are static, and hence they may not be able to explain the evolution of networks and cannot resemble the real world systems. Second property that we observed in case of Ardo-Shreni networks or random networks is that does not matter how well connected you are before, the probability of connection between any given pair of nodes, let us say that this is our ER network, a component of ER network I would say, does not matter how many connections this particular node has. This node would be still as important as this node if a new node has to make a connection. So if this is a new node and it is looking for a friend, the probability that it will connect to this node is also P, and the probability it will connect to this sole isolated node with having only one connection is also P. However, in real world, we know that if a new node arrives into a network, it would prefer to connect to a network to a node which already has large number of connections, and we call this phenomena as preferential attachment. And hence, when we talk about real world systems, most of the real world systems we see around us, all of them exhibit these properties, that there is a growth associated as well as there is a preferential attachment. To get more insights into preferential attachment, let us look into three real world examples. Think about an actor who is working in Bollywood. If it is his or her first movie, actor or actress, I would say, if it's their first movie, probability that they will get a role in next movie is less. However, think of a superstar who has already done thousands of movies. So director or producer would know his or her work much better, and there is a probability that he is going to find a role in next movie is much higher in comparison to the actor who is just done one or two movies. Similarly, if you think about the citation network, there are millions of research papers that are published every year. However, you would see that certain papers that receive a high number of citations would keep on getting more and more citation because either they develop credibility or people have a tendency or a psychology that if this paper is getting more and more cited, let us there must be some credibility associated with that, and hence rich gets richer phenomena applies to actor network as well as citation network. And hence, even in real world, we can explain this preferential attachment without even talking about the quality. I have not said that actor A is not as good as actor B or vice versa. I have not said that new researchers are not at par with the researchers who have been there for a while and publishing multiple papers. But the point that we are trying to make here is that if not everything, age of a node in a network can explain lot of properties that how real world systems evolve. In Barabashi-Albert model, scientists try to capture exactly that. So in their classical 1999 Physica paper where the authors proposed this Barabashi-Albert model, so they hypothesized that we can capture the essence of networks if we account for time evolution as well as we account for preferential attachment. And what this preferential attachment is, we will try to understand it in terms of some mathematics. So BA model is based on these two foundations, and how we quantify that, let us look into that. So we say that, let us say that we have a small network which is already existing, and here these two nodes have a degree of 1, this is 1, this is 1, and this is degree of 2. There is a new node which is entering into the system. Let us say it only has a one stub to attach to any other node. Now if you look at this particular stub, if it has been a random network, probability of this stub getting attached to either of these nodes would be P. However, in BA model, we say that chances of this stub getting connected to any of that particular stub is proportional to ki normalized over all the other nodes that were already present in this particular network. So basically, I here represents degree of the nodes that are already present summed over all the nodes that have certain degree. So in this case, probability that this node is going to receive this stub would be equal to its degree 2 divided by 2 plus 1 plus 1, which is 2 divided by 4 or 1 by 2. On the other hand, probability that the node that I have highlighted in blue is going to receive this connection, let us say that this is node 2, would be equal to its degree divided by sum of the degrees of all the nodes that are present when this node is entering into the system. So this would be 1 by 4. And you clearly see that the probability that this particular node is going to get this connection is twice the other nodes, and that's what we mean by preferential attachment. Also, another assumption that we will have in BA model is that only one node with M connections or M stubs can enter into system. Second assumption that we are going to go ahead with, that no stub at any time is going to be isolated. That means if a node is entering with 3 stubs, it should connect to 3 different nodes. While original BA model allowed for multipaths and self-looping, the correction proposed by Bolobas et al. Told us that let us modify it in a way that we restrict that each node or each stub can only connect to a distinct node. That means if there is a node which is incoming with 2 different stubs, it first stub, if it connects here, second stub is not allowed to connect here, and it should find a new node to connect with, and hence we will find the unique nodes for stub of the same node. So with this, if let us say that we start at t equal to 0, we have a network of m naught nodes. And if somebody asks after time t, how many nodes we are going to have? So the answer simply would be m naught plus t, because from the first assumption we say that only one node is allowed to enter at a given time. Now if we can work out on m naught plus t, and now we are given some additional information that initially there are 3 nodes and we have some m number of links already present here, or m prime number of links present here. Each new node would come with the same number of stubs, which let us say are m. Now another question arises, after time t, how many links we can expect in the network? So answer would be, since at each time t only one node is coming, and each node is coming with the degree equal to with the number of stubs equal to t, and m dash nodes were already present, such that m dash is greater than m, because if this condition is not met, then we would not have a unique node for these stubs to connect with. Hence this particular assumption is equally important, so that we are able to identify a unique node for each stub that is entering into the system. So with this, we have identified certain aspects, that n would be equal to m naught plus t if you look at any point t. And if you take a snapshot of a network at any time t, probability that that node has entered into system at time ti would be simply, because we are entering one node and at the end we end up with m naught plus t nodes. So this becomes the probability distribution of ti, or probability that particular node has entered between this time of m naught plus t, as it can enter discretely at any of these time steps. Now with these assumptions, we are good to go and look into the degree dynamics of BA networks